Thank you for tuning in today's Education USA. Thank you for tuning in today's Education USA session. My name is Karamat Ajala. I'm an Education USA Adviser from Ibadan. Thank you all for joining. I want to say a very big congratulations to each and every one of us that have been able to secure an admission offer or received a financial aid package. I know some of us are undecided on how to, go about it, if we should accept the financial aid package given to us or we should, appeal for more support. My answer is yes, you should appeal for more support if you know that the current offer they've given you does not meet your financial need. And I'll be taking you through the steps. I'll be guiding you through the steps on how to, successfully appeal for more support. So when financial aid isn't enough, how do I appeal for more support? The first thing you want to do is to evaluate the school policies and appeal procedures. See, most schools in the US, they have a maximum amount of funding. It's like a ceiling, a band where they cannot go beyond that. So, for example, if your school maximum amount, the policy state that the maximum amount of funding will be $30,000. You can't appeal for more than $30,000. Say they've given you a financial aid package of maybe $25,000. You can't appeal for extra $10,000. You can only appeal for $5,000 because that is the band. They can't go beyond it. Another thing you want to look out for is the aid. Is it a need-based, is it need-based or merit-based aid? I mean, the financial aid of the school. So needs-based aid means that they are giving you based on your need. They are giving you funding based on your need. While merit-based means that they are giving you funding based on your achievement, your academic achievement, your results, your extracurricular rather, and whatnot. So most merit-based, aid cannot be negotiated. If you have received the maximum amount of award of merit-based, you cannot negotiate for more. So, but need-based, you can still, there's still a wiggle room for you to negotiate for more. Another thing you want to look at is the policy, admission policy. Is it need blind or need aware? Is the school a need blind or need aware? Need blind means that they don't care about your financial situation. They don't care. They are not taking into cognizance your financial, capability or documentation of finances. What they need is you need it, and then they are ready to give you the 100% of your demonstrated need. The other one is need aware. It means that they are need sensitive. They are aware of your need. They are aware of your need, and you are looking at your financial, they are taking into cognizance your financial situation and capability before they can give you an admission or even give you a kind of financial aid. Another thing you want to do is to evaluate your financial situation. You want to analyze the school comprehensive annual cost or cost of attendance. You want to know, okay, how much goes to, on their websites, how much goes to direct and indirect? How much goes to room and boarding? How much goes to book supplies? How much goes to tuition and fees? How much goes to transportation and other indirect, costs? Also, you want to be sure how much your EFC, which means EFC, expected family contribution. How much can your family realistically afford? How much can your sponsors realistically afford? EFC means that you're looking at your family, your sponsors all together. So maybe your aunts, your mom, your brother, your uncle, all of them all together. All of these are called, expected family contribution. So you want to know how much they can support you with, how much they can realistically afford. Another thing you want to look out for is the school payments plan. What is the school payments plan? Would you be paying quarterly? Would you be paying yearly? Would you be paying per semester? Maybe you'll be paying spring and fall. You have to check. Schools have different, they have their own subjective policies, and you have to check your school website. Another thing you want to do is to calculate and check if you can still afford it after conversion. After you have converted to your local currency, can you afford the COA? So if you, let's say, for example, um you have checked, you have, given the financial constraint and situation in the country, you have calculated it again, then you realize that, okay, this is not going to work. Then this is where you appeal for more financial aid, scholarship, or go for renegotiating or more aid. Another thing you want to do is to understand your current financial aid package. So how much, you want to know how much goes to, how much is in form of loans, how much is in form of grants, how much is in form of work study, and how much is your aid. So you want to know loans are money that you have to pay back, usually at a stipulated period of time with interest. Grants are money that you do not have to pay back, and they are giving you based on, they are awarding you based on your need. You do not have to pay grants back. Work study means that you're going to be working in the school for a stipulative amount of time, maybe 20 hours per week, and they'll be giving you some money to offset your expenses. So how much is in form of all this? So school cannot go beyond the maximum amount of loans or work study. They cannot increase it. They cannot go beyond that, but they can, increase your grants if you ask. Another thing you want to look out for is to, you want to review your original financial aid application. So be sure that your forms are documented, complete, and also you want to know what changed since the previous financial aid. What has changed? Was there an increment in your achievements? Was there maybe your parents, salary got cut, or there's a cut in your parents' salary, or your income, for especially now for graduate students, your income has reduced for a reason. Then you want to look at that. It is important you take cognizance of that. Another thing is to reconsider how much your family realistically how much can they afford. Now you have to go back to your drawing board and you have to go back to your drawing board and tell your parents. Probably your parents agree that they are going to pay $25,000 as their EFC, and your school left you with $30,000. It means that you have to pay 5,000 naira to augment to $25,000. So you want to ask your family, you want to ask your family and your sponsors how much can you, is there a wiggle room for me? Can you please increase this money? The school has asked for $30,000, and you already promised that you're going to be paying $25,000. So can you add $5,000 to it? So be realistic. How much can they realistically afford? So another thing is to be sure to search for other sources of funding. See, schools want to see your intentionality. They want to see that you are steadfast with what you're doing. They want to be sure that you're not laying all the burden of financial situation on them. They want to be sure that you are also trying your bit to look for external sources instead of putting all your eggs in the school and thinking, oh, the school will cover it, the school will cover it. They want to see your capability. They want to see how steadfast you are. So be sure to search for more sources of funding. So you have to identify valid evidence-based reasons for requesting, reevaluation, a reevaluation. So before sending the letter of appeal, you must be able to document how much your family finances have changed since you originally submitted the previous one. So how much your family's finances has changed since January. So for example, there is a devaluation of currency in your country. And obviously, you have told them there's a devaluation of currency, but they need proof. You can't just tell them, okay, there's devaluation of currency. There's no money in our country. You have to make them understand that, see, you are being factual. And the way to be factual is to show them proof. Show them proof that there's a devaluation. It might be a newsletter proof, a link that shows that maybe a newspaper proof, or whatever that can show a proof that, yes, there's a devaluation of currency in your country. Another thing is, another scenario is documentation of reduction in your family salaries. So if there is a reduction in your family salary, you want to document it. Probably there's a tax or payroll or your employer or your family, your parents, sorry, your parents' employer, one of your parents or your two parents' employer, giving them a letter that shows that there is a reduction in salary, you want to show the proof. You want to make them know that, see, I'm not joking, I'm not lying, I'm being factual. So another thing is, another scenario is if there's a decrease in your parents' savings, you want to document it. Because obviously if there's a cut in the salary or there's a reason, it will obviously affect your parents' savings. You can, back it up with that proof. Another scenario is if there's now an increase in your family living expenses. Probably one of your family members had to come and live with you. Maybe the size of your family as a January was, maybe you're just 5 people, in your family, but now you are now 12. It shows that there's a fundamental change in your family expenses or living expenses. You want to show maybe utility bills, or you want to show maybe tax or something that shows that there is a reduction, there is an increase in your living expenses. So that's will prompt you to ask for more financial aid. So another scenario is that if there's a medical emergency that has drained your family savings, show proof. If there is a medical emergency, if your aunt, your uncle, your grandfather, or somebody took ill, or somebody is not just feeling well, and your parents had to take the burden of everything on their shoulder, which means they're going to be paying so much. Then that's a fundamental change that they want to see, and you want to show proof of medical records. Another thing is, if your family circumstances have not changed since you have situated it there, that, okay, in January, this is so amount of money that we can afford, and this is what is happening in the family, and it has not changed. You can reinforce what you have stated in your original financial application. So let's say if you initially reported a certain income or family size, but you didn't receive enough aid, you may want to, show that these figures are still valid. And you have to provide additional supporting documents or documentation to show that your family income and expenditure are really what you said they are or they were. So, but the additional documents are to be, they're additional, so they must be different from the document you have sent, in January, earlier or previously. So, if the school gives scholarship based on merits or achievements, and you have improved or you've merited shape, explain how now you deserve a better one. You have to explain, you have to show. So if you want to explain something, you have to show proof that backs it up, that has spoken for you. So maybe there's a higher SAT scores or GRE score. Maybe your SAT was, as of January, your SAT was 1,400. And now you've written another SAT and it's now 1,550. That's a fundamental change. You want to show that. If your GRE score was 3,330 and 300 rather, and it is now 330 or above, you want to show proof that I have merited shape. Another thing is winning competitions. Maybe you've been doing an international, maybe spelling bee or something that you've gotten better at, and there is a certificate or something to show that, or proof to show that, yes, I have been doing something differently, that which is a fundamental change in my life, and this will bolster your chances of getting a kind of scholarship. Another thing is better grades. Have you increased in your grades? Have you gotten better? That's another thing. Another thing is if you have received a community recognition. Maybe there's a plaque to show it, show proof. There's a new leadership or service awards, show proof. If you are a graduate student and you have done a new research, you have published a new you have published a new research, done a new research, show that this is a fundamental change, show proof. New leadership and service awards, show proof. You have set a new record in sports. Probably you have done an inter-country sport, and you're given a medal, bronze or something. Show proof that you have merit. Okay. All right. Tips for writing an effective request and appeal or appeal. So first of all, you want to show gratitude. If you're going to be, writing a letter of appeal, you can't just tell them, dear Professor so. The letter, I accept your admission offer, but the I don't think I would take that because I need you to reassess that. I need you to reassess my package. It is not good enough. You have to show gratitude. Whatever you do, show gratitude. Express a deep appreciation. Let the admission officer or Jordan Peterson, if he's your admission officer, let them know that you are so thrilled that you have gotten this admission, and really, I would love to be a part of your school. I would love to be a student in the school community. I would like to, be able to project my knowledge too in the school, and just show gratitude. And when you do that, then you cannot follow up whatever you want to ask them or appeal you want to, start continuing with. Another thing is stay positive, stay objective. Do not exaggerate. Do not tell your admission officer that you are the poorest in the whole world. You are the poorest student in the whole world, and you need them so bad. You need them to give you that. It is not factual, I promise. How do you know that you are the poorest? So you want to tell them that, see, I appreciate you, but going back to my drawing board, my parents cannot realistically afford that money. My COA, I need you to reassess this. You are letting them know that, yes, you're appreciative, but at the same time, you need it. You need that money. That's being factured at the same time. They know that you are going straight to business. So be informed means that, okay, know the school policies and deadlines. Be that I said earlier, before you do anything, you need to go back to the school website, be sure that everything is in order, be sure that you know their policy, you know the maximum amount of money, like I said, you know all the necessary things you should know about this, because schools policies, varies. So you want to, vary rather. So you want to know the school policies and deadlines. Be informed. Another thing, it should be factual. Factual means that you do not just let them know that you don't you merit extra, and these as documents backing it up. Don't exaggerate. Don't be too emotional. Don't let them know. Don't say that you cry or you'll be so sad. If you just be factual, be professional. Another thing you want to be sure, you want to be careful of is you should be confident without sounding too demanding. Be confident. Is a letter of appeal, is not a letter of aggression. So when you are asking up for a letter of appeal, you don't want to sound to them. You don't want to tell them that, see, if you do not give me this aid, if you do not increase my financial package, or if you do not give me extra support, I quit. If you do not give me, then I'm not coming to your school. There are so many schools that are looking for me, that have given me, and you don't even want to. No, you don't. You want to, that is why you're sending a letter of appeal, because you want to go to the school. So you need to be professional, and you need to be respectful. So be confident without sounding demanding. Be assertive. Be assertive means that, see, as a student, if you have a particular or stipulative amount of money that you know that it would cover your, COA, comprehensive annual cost, state it. If you know that, okay, $5,000 will do, say, state it. Let them know that this is exactly the amount of money you want. State it. And also, another idea of being assertive is, tell them that, there's so many schools that have awarded you, they have awarded you funding, extra and funding. And some people have even met or demonstrated need. But I really, really, really want to come to your school. I'll be glad if you gave me a wiggle room, or if you reassessed this. Sorry. Tips for writing an effective requests. Address your request to the person who signed your financial aid award letter. When you receive your financial aid award letter, who signed it? If there is a name of the person, you can send it directly. You can, send it to the person. That's okay. You can send send the message to the person that, okay, this is because you already know the person, and the person had already, given you, the person is known. Yeah, or an international admission officer. So since you're asking for a reconsideration of an existing offer, you need to be prepared for a delayed response because you have to respond to other students or other, students that enrolling. And another thing is many school wait after May 1st enrollment deadline when they have a clearer picture of their remaining financial aid budget. So if you have waited for a week, 2 weeks should do. You can, nudge them and let them know that this is a reminder of what you've requested in so dates. Let them know, but do not bombard them with messages. Be respectful. Righty? So this is a sample of an appeal, a letter of appeal. So it could go like this. Dear Professor, in the event that you're ready, you know the person, you've had the conversation with the person. As I said, if you already know the person that sent you the offer, you know the name. Why being general? Why being generic? Just go straight and say Professor XYZ. Or you might want to say, Dear International Admission Officer, or Dear Admission of or Committee, I hope you're doing well. My name is XYZ, and I'm thrilled to have been admitted to school XYZ for the fall term 2025. Thank you sincerely for the financial aid offer extended to me. After reviewing my parents' or my family's financial situation, however, I respectfully request a reconsideration of my award. Since my initial application, you can explain if applicable. If you don't want to sound too wordy or verbiage, you can just note, but you can do that to re-emphasize that. Maybe on unexpected medical expenses, job changes, and this have placed additional strain on my family's finances, making it difficult to afford remaining balance. I'm committed to attending school XYZ. It remained my top choice because of specific reason, maybe state of their faculty, state of facility, outstanding faculty, tight-knit community, academic excellence. We all have a stipulated reasons why we want to attend the school. So one have received more substantial aid from other institutions. As I said earlier, you can just be factual. You can just let them know that you have done this, and then the schools have given you opportunities. But my preference is to enroll at your school XYZ, where I believe I will thrive and contribute meaningfully to the campus community. If possible, I will greatly appreciate an opportunity for reassessment. I'm happy to provide any additional information or documentation needed to support my request. Thank you very much for your time, understanding, and consideration. I'm looking forward to hopefully joining school XYZ family. If you have a school student's ID, put it put the necessary signature. Ready? So the first to fill, okay, letter attached to or in lieu of financial aid agreement. If they sent you a financial aid agreement form, it is like a contract. It is legally binding. If you sign it, you're not going back. If you sign it, it means that you're consenting to the money that you already agreed on. You're agreeing to the brim that you're not going back. That is how much I'm going to be paying. So be wary of that. Be careful. So this means that if you sign it, you are agreeing to pay the stipulated amount of money or stated amount of money. If you cannot sign this agreement, send it back with a letter explaining why you cannot afford the money they are asking you to pay. It is better because if you sign, there's no going back. So you can send it back and let them know that, see, I'm really appreciative of this, but I'm respectfully declining because I do not have that. My parents, but EFC cannot cover the comprehensive annual cost. So you want to probably they might consent to it and help you increase your grants. You can accept the admission offer by May 1st, while clearly stating that your admission or your decision, it depends on receiving additional financial aid to bridge the gap. It is contingent on that. If they are not going to be bridging that gap or giving you the financial, aid, then you're going to accept. You should, but you have to still state that I am doing this because, or on the or in the on contingent of this, because it is necessary that you do that. Because if you sign or if you accept and you're not doing that, they believe that you pay. So, or you can respectfully request an extension of the deadline while your appeal is under review. So you can say, send a mail to, for an extension that you would like you would like to extend the deadline because you're trying to go back to your drawing board. You're trying to, see how much you can gather, how much your family can gather, how much your sponsors can give to you. So that one, they will give you ample time to, not exactly an ample time, but a reasonable time for you to, not all schools, it depends on schools though. It depends on your conversation and the schools, because schools have their own deadline. So if they are going to be agreeing to the extension, they have to take into cognizance the timing. So forms to fill and return. Certification of finances form completed, stating the maximum you can pay, inclusive of your parents, other sponsors, outside scholarship. So this certification of finances form is also a legally binding contract. So you do not state amounts that you cannot pay. It's a forward-looking, document. If you know that you are not, with your family, everything all together cannot work, it's not going to fly, then do not state what you cannot afford. So the school must have your certification of finances form on file before they can issue you an I-20. So before they can issue an I-20, certification of finances is necessary. They must have your certification of finances showing that this is how much you'll be paying over the years throughout your stay in school as a student. This is how much your school fees is, how much you are going to be paying. And if they do not receive that, then you might not have your I-24. So before they can issue you an I-20 for your visa application. Anytime we're doing visa, that's step 4, we always make mention of I-20 and certification of finances. Those two things are necessary. They are necessary forms and documents that that you must have to apply for your visa. If you know that you are realizing that, go back and check again. Your I-20, if your school gives you an I-20, it means that you have done all the necessary, given them all the necessary documents they have asked or requested. So I want you all to know that, see, if you asked, for financial aid or an extra support, it will not affect you. It's the worst of all is to say to school that is for the school to say a blatant no. So it's either they say a no or they say a yes. What if they said yes? So why don't you try? Try your bit, and your admission will not be revoked, or would it be rescinded? The worst they can do is say a blatant no. So demonstrate your value, then express your need. Let them know this is how you've married and this is how you have tried. And yes, this is my need. This is what I need, your financial need. Thank you very much. And if you have any question, I'll be removing my slide now. If you have any question, we will. Thank you, everybody, for joining this session. If you have any question, please do well to drop your message or your question, and I will respond, or I have my mentors here that would respond to if need be. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll be waiting on your questions. Thank you very much. There's a question here. Can we extend the deadline for enrollment deposits? In one of my slides, I said that you can write a letter of extension that you would like your